Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video. This is Champion 2D Rob back again. First thing, I want to apologise for the lighting. It's a bit dark out today and the light I've got in here just gives it a sort of like this yellowish tint to it, so I apologise if the lighting's not quite right. Yeah, basically this video is my thoughts and impressions on the London video game retro market. I went to it last Sunday. Today's Tuesday. Only getting around to making the video now. Yeah, I just wanted to basically give you guys my thoughts and opinions on the event, and of course show you what I picked up, but also just show you some other pickups as well. So starting off with regards to the video game retro market, it's something I was actually very much looking forward to. I kind of stumbled on the information, found out it was happening on November the 15th, which was last Sunday, and yeah, I put it in my diary, made sure I showed up for it, and yeah, I did. I went down there, and it was in Russell Square. It was at the Royal National Hotel in Russell Square, and I didn't know what quite to expect, seeming as this was a dedicated retro market as opposed to something like the Play Expo in Blackpool, which was more of a trade, sort of like a trade event with the retro stalls as well. And I have to say, when I walked in there, my initial opinion was that of disappointment, and the reason for that was because when I walked in there, basically the setup, it was split into two rooms, and the first room was all retro video game stalls, as well as other sort of merchandise, and then the other room was just sort of dedicated to sort of board games, and I found that quite disappointing because I felt that whereas with the board game area, it was pretty much a room dedicated to board games and other such games, whereas the retro video game area had to share its space with other sort of clothing merchandise and other sort of geek merchandise, and I felt it kind of took away, I felt, of the space that it could have had for a few more vendors. But saying that though, there was actually a very good amount of retro stalls at this event. There was much more than there was at Play Blackpool, so there was definitely a lot more to see. And what was nice to see this time around, which is something I didn't really see that much of at Play Blackpool, was more sort of smaller vendors, because you had like the very sort of big resellers, the big trade stalls, but there wasn't that many sort of smaller ones, and this one had a couple of smaller vendors, which was nice to see. I wasn't actually there for that long. I was only there for about an hour and a bit, because there wasn't really much to go through. There was a lot of good stuff there. I mean, the event opened at 11 o'clock. I didn't get there till about 11:30. I just sort of took my time. I was working the night before, and I work sort of quite late into the night, so I was in no rush. I didn't want to sort of get there super early to queue up or nothing. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to show up. Whatever's there, I'll. But there was plenty of stuff there. But when I got there, though, it was like at peak time. It was heaving. It was heaving with people. And when I first walked into the game stalls, it was completely swamped. Like you couldn't get your way to the front to look at the games. There was just so many people trying to get to the games. And I managed to worm my way in there. I'm a big guy, but I'm kind of slick like that. I sort of wormed my way in. But everyone was really nice, despite it looking like a free for all, like pretty crazy. Everyone was actually really nice and polite, and excuse me, please, and no one was pushing and shoving. Everyone was aware of other people around them, so it wasn't it was nice. The vibe was very good, and I eventually managed to sort of worm my way to the front of a few of the stalls, get a look at the games, And one thing I will say is I actually managed to being as I'm a very tall guy, I have a longer reach. And at the event, they had like these really sort of large tables, and they had like crates of games on the tables, but then they had like one crate sort of near towards where we were, and then to like the tables were so wide that you could put another crate behind it. And I think because of all the people that was just sort of on top of each other trying to look at the games, there wasn't a lot of room for people to really move around, and a lot of people didn't seem to have a good reach for the ones sort of towards the other side of the table. And I happen to have a longer reach, so I actually managed to put my big arms over to the other side of the table to pick out some games, and I noticed that there was a lot of more sought after games, sort of like at the further away from where we were standing. And now, nothing that I necessarily wanted, and this is something I'm going to get to in a second, but there was definitely a lot of, in terms of games, there was a great variety and a lot of sought after stuff for sure. Unfortunately for me, it was nothing that I was looking for. Most of the stuff that was there was stuff I already owned in some form or another. And when I went there, I did go there with a list of games in my head. So I didn't want to go crazy, because when I was at the Play Expo, I went a bit nuts, and I just kind of like, ooh, I'm buying this, I'm buying that. I went a bit nuts like that. But so I said to myself, this time I wouldn't do that. Money's not really permitting anyway. But I said to myself, if I saw these games, I would buy them. Unfortunately, I didn't see a single game that was on my list. I did buy some stuff, but it was nothing major. But I'll show you guys in a minute. But I did see some good stuff though. I saw for the Genesis, I saw Maximum Carnage for the Genesis for £20, which I thought was a good price for it. That's quite a pricey title generally, so I thought £20 was a good price for Maximum Carnage, especially on the Genesis. I mean, I've already got it on the Mega Drive, so it wasn't really something for me. But I think that the prices at the event were reasonable. I mean, you had your sellers with the typical sort of like overpriced product, but there were deals to be had, and I managed to get some games, some good prices, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, no, there was some good stuff. I was primarily looking at Super Famicom games. I went to Console Passions first, and while they did have a decent supply of some really good Super Famicom titles, it was nothing that I really wanted. They had a lot of the fighting games, like they had a lot of the ports of Art of Fighting, Samurai Showdown, I think was there. They had sort of Bomberman. They had some good titles. They had Mario Kart. In fact, I picked up Mario Kart for the Super Famicom, and I had it in my hand for a bit. And I was toying with the idea of getting it, but it was sort of going for about 20-25 quid. And I thought, it's not really, for me, it wasn't a must-have, like I need it now kind of thing. And I didn't want to, because it was the first stall I went to, I didn't want to just sort of, start spending big. I wanted to have a look around first, so I kind of put it back. But I did sort of make my way around the venue, and the actual second place I went to, I actually did manage to find two games that I thought, well, they're not necessarily on my list. One technically was on my list. It wasn't necessarily one I had in mind when I went there, but it was definitely one game that I wanted to pick up. It's a Game Boy Advance game. It's boxed. So I saw it, and I had to go for it. But I'll show you that in a moment, guys. But anyway, yeah. So I walked around. I walked around the room probably 3 times. The first 2 times was as I was proper going through each stall trying to find games and whatnot. And the third time around, I was actually looking for YouTubers, because I actually did not come across any YouTubers really. I did actually meet someone who recognised me. Sorry, man, I forgot your name, because you kind of caught me at that. Like I just got in there, so I can't quite remember your name. But he sort of came up as I was at Console Passions looking at the Super Famicom titles, he sort of came up next to me and he goes, "Oh, you know, you're Robert. I watch your videos, mate." And that was nice to be recognised. But generally, I didn't see any YouTubers. I know Gashead Steve was there. I think Novabug was there as well. But I didn't see them. I was expecting to see the Retro Godfather Dal. Dal, I don't know if he showed up, mate, because yeah, I didn't see ya. You know, I was hoping to meet a few YouTubers, but I didn't come across any. I mean, after speaking with Gashead, you know, he did tell me he was there. I mean, obviously he was there because he's got footage of the event. I think our paths just never crossed, which is quite unusual because I figured if I can't see them, they should at least be able to see me because I stick out, literally. But no, didn't come across anyone. But yeah, so the third time around, I just sort of went around looking at it, looking for YouTubers and couldn't find anyone. I wasn't planning to stay there very long. I had other things to do during that day. So I just sort of said, well, I'll come down in the morning, do what I have to do, and I'll bounce. But overall, my impressions of the event was, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I think if I'd gone there for PlayStation 1 games, I probably would have been really pleasantly surprised. I mean, there was a lot of sought after stuff for PS1. It's just that for me, most of the stuff I had already, like I saw, they had Mega Man X, I think they had X3 there, I believe. I saw the Suikoden games there for the PS1. They had quite a few sought after PS1 titles there. There was a couple of games I looked at which I considered getting. There was Moon on the DS. The seller was selling it for 40 quid. I thought about it, but that's around the going rate on eBay, and it's not really. Even though I want the game, it's not really one I'm prepared to pay that kind of money for, and it's around its eBay price. And the one sort of surprising time I came very close to picking it up was the Castlevania Adventure on the original Game Boy, and it was boxed and complete. I'm assuming it's complete. I'm assuming it came with a manual, but it was boxed. And I was very tempted to pick it up. It was selling for £30, and I was very, very tempted to pick that game up. You know, because you know me, I'm a massive fan of Castlevania. But ultimately, I decided against it. It just wasn't necessary. I just felt if I pick it up boxed, I'm gonna want to go and get the other two games boxed and complete, and they're much more expensive. So I decided not to in the end. So I have all three games loose. But ultimately, I did pick up a few titles. But overall, my thoughts were that it was a good event. It was a good sort of first event for London. I mean, I'm not aware of any sort of retro markets happening in London prior to this. But it was nice to see that there was actually one happening in London, and in a very central place, very easy to get to. And I know that most of these events tend to happen sort of up north or in the Midlands, and for me it's very difficult to get up there just because I have to factor in the price of travelling costs, and of course accommodation sometimes. And you know, a lot of this money that I use to spend on those things are money that I would much rather use to spend on games. So it makes going up to the Leeds Retro Market, which is a place I'm planning to go to. I will go there at one point for sure. But you know, it's not something I can just go on a whim, because it does, for me, it takes planning, which is very, very frustrating. As a lot of YouTubers are from sort of like the Midlands and up north, and to be fair, that's where most of the retro events tend to happen. So in order for me to see a lot of people and stuff, it's the better option to go up there. And of course, you know, a lot of people have said that the Leeds retro game market, there's a lot more there as well. But I think for a first attempt, I thought that the event overall was very good. It's just that I had expectations and they didn't live up to it when I got in there. But that's not to say there wasn't good stuff there. There was. There was actually a lot of good stuff there. Just nothing that I was necessarily looking for myself. But I think as a first attempt, I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed myself. It was nice to see such enthusiasm for retro games. I mean, it was really busy. It did sort of like, I mean, think like towards the end that I was there, like it began to subside. It wasn't that crazy. But you know, I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. Like even though I didn't get any of the games I was looking for. Two games I was looking for in particular was Castlevania Judgment on the Wii. I was looking for that, and I was also looking for Super Mario Land Boxed and Complete for the Game Boy. It's one thing I really, really want to get, as a boxed copy of Super Mario Land would mean a lot to me, as that game is very nostalgic for me. So I'd love to get that Boxed and Complete, but I never saw it there. So if it was there, it would have someone would have snapped it up straight away. But that was something I was looking forward to maybe finding there. If anyone was wondering what my impossible game was, like that one game that I really want that I knew was not going to be there, that's going to be Final Fight 3 on the Super Famicom. That was the game that I always, in the back of my mind, hoped to find at one of these markets, but obviously it's not going to happen. But you know, I ended up buying 3 games. I didn't spend that much money in total. But like I say, this video, I'll show you guys what I picked up at the retro market. And of course, I'll show you what else I've picked up in these last few weeks as well. So at the retro market, first stall I went to, I picked up 2 games. And, oh, take it here. Let's see. Okay, now I picked up one Master System game and one Game Boy Advance game. And the Master System game I picked up, this is actually something I do already own, but it's an upgrade. I saw it it was going for very cheap, so yeah, definitely had to have it. And that was the Lucky Dime Caper starring Donald Duck, and it is complete. And this is an upgrade. And I picked it up because it was going for £5, which I thought was it's in lovely condition, So chuffed to get that. But I also, and this was also a really, really good find, because it was going for a really good price. I actually, after I bought this, I went to one of the other sort of resellers, and they were selling this game for £20. So I was really chuffed to find this in such good condition, and it was something I was looking for, and that was Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario 3, and it is in lovely condition, and of course it is complete, and I paid £13 for this. I paid £13. I have the plastic bag it came with, and the price there, if you can see it. £13 is what I paid for it. Now, because I saw, when they saw these, I asked if the guy would do both for 15 quid, but he said 16 quid. So I thought, yeah, cool. So I got both of these for £16, which I thought was a good price, especially given this was selling at another stall for £20. So getting it for just a cheap price, it's very good. So yeah, really chuffed to get those. And the last game I picked up at the event, and this is something that I've been meaning to pick up for a while. It wasn't very high on my priority list, but it was going for a good price. And this was actually being sold at one of the sort of bigger trade stalls. But the price was decent for it, so I thought I'd pick it up. It's another Master System game, and that was RoboCop vs Terminator, and I got it for 12 quid. It's in lovely condition, complete. Box is really sturdy. You know, it's not collapsing in on itself, like, which is very common with Master System cases. So I was really chuffed to find this. I've always wanted to try the Robo. I've got a loose cart of it, but I wanted to have it boxed. And yeah, so really happy to add this as well, because I love the Mega Drive version, and I hear a lot of good things about the Master System version as well. So that was pretty much all I picked up at the retro market. The next one, the next retro market is in March, and I believe there's another one happening in July as well. So I'm glad that this is becoming a trend. I'm sure that this event was a success because there was a very good turnout. I hope that they probably find the place, while still central, probably find the place is a bit bigger though. I don't know, I just didn't think there should have been any board games there. I felt they could have used both rooms for more retro games themselves, but I know the board games have their fans. You know, I know Rich King Retro, he loves his board games and stuff, and obviously it seems to be popular amongst collectors as well. But I would love to see just a much bigger retro market with just you know, a lot more vendors, especially a lot more sort of smaller vendors as well. It would have been nice to see. But overall, I'm happy. You know, great experience. Great to see it happening in London, and I will definitely be going to the next one, and I will be going to the one after that as well. So yeah, very happy with that. So you know, if you are in London, you know, I definitely recommend to come down. Come down. You know, there was good deals to be had. There was other good games I saw for good prices there. I was just being a little bit more conservative with my money. I wasn't planning to spend, you know, too much, because, you know, we're coming up to Christmas now, so I didn't want to go overboard. But I did see some good NES titles. I almost picked up some NES games when I was there. Like I said, I almost picked up that complete Castlevania Adventure, the Game Boy game. You know, I didn't really sort of look too much into the PS1 stuff, mainly because it seemed to be quite a lot. There was a big concentration of people around that area as well, and it was quite tiring just sort of manoeuvring my way to the front. But you know, overall, I'm happy. So yeah, definitely looking forward to the next event. Hope to see you guys there in the future ones. Yeah, it would have been nice to hang out and see some people, but it is what it is. Anyway, so as for the rest of my pickups, yes, I picked up, again, not too much stuff. Just a couple of bits and pieces, mostly sort of eBay. Yeah, a couple of eBay items and a purchase from Amazon. First purchase from eBay, I picked up a Wii Motion Plus controller, as well as a nunchuck. Reason why I picked this up was I needed to get a Wii Motion Plus remote with the built-in Wii Motion Plus, because I wanted to use it with where is the damn thing? With this that I got from 2UK a while back, because basically the remote that I had before had the Wii Motion Plus add-on, and when you want to add the remote to this gun peripheral, you can't use the extended Wii Motion Plus. So when you take off the Wii Motion Plus, I found it to be not very responsive. But you know, once I bought this and I added this to this, it became much more responsive, and in turn made playing a lot of these shoot 'em up games a lot more fun. So yeah, definitely happy to pick that up. And next thing I got here was from Amazon. It's another PS4 game, another addition to the PS4 collection, and that is The Walking Dead Season 2. I had this on the PS3, completed it, loved it. I sold it on, but I've been meaning to pick it up. I was planning to pick it up on the PS4. I saw it for a very good price. It was 15 quid, brand new and sealed, so definitely jumped on that. So yeah, tough to get that. And the last purchase I got, again, this is from eBay, and this is an upgrade. It's another Master System title, and it's definitely, and I sort of was going back and forth on whether I wanted to upgrade my copy, because I have a copy it's in very good nick. It missed the manual, and this is a title that I really do love, and it's on the Master System, and that is Master of Darkness. It was not cheap, but it wasn't, it wasn't too expensive, and I was very lucky because this is in fantastic condition. I'd say it's almost mint. It is complete, of course. I actually bought it because of the manual, and it has, of course, the poster as well. It's a nice sturdy box. Probably the only thing that prevents this from being mint is that there's like right at the bottom here, there's like, I don't know if you can see it because of the lighting, but there's like a slight stain right there at the bottom. It's not a big deal. Case is nice and sturdy again, which is very important, especially with Master System games, as they tend to get very worn, and they sort of don't close very well. So yeah, really chuffed to get this. So this is an upgrade to my copy, which doesn't have a manual, so I'll be looking to move that one on at some point in the future. So that's it, guys. That is basically it. Yeah, final thoughts. Very happy about the retro gaming market. Of course, we'll go again. And yeah, it's just nice to see something happening in London for once, and not up north. But no, you know what though, I do enjoy. Like I loved when I went to Blackpool. I had so much fun. It was a proper good weekend. But sometimes, but unfortunately, I can't go to all these events. And it's a shame because I want to see everyone. I want to hang out with people. I want to be around the community a bit more. And then it's just not always possible. But I'm definitely gonna try and go to these, and I will definitely go to the Leeds retro market at some point down the line in the future. So anyway, guys, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again soon. Please give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Of course, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Did you go to the retro gaming market? And if you did, how come you didn't say hello? Just kidding. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will be back soon. Bye bye.